Hello, hello, and welcome to the Divinely Driven Results Show. I'm your host, Elise Smith, Christian business strategist, and I get to empower Christian women entrepreneurs just like you to be able to reach your sales goals by partnering with God, empowering your mindset, and utilizing biblical business strategy. Now, today here on the Divinely Driven Results Show, we are going to talk about one of the coolest tools that we teach here at Divinely Driven Results, and that is the solution bridge. I'm sure that you guys have all been in those conversations on social media or maybe even in a networking event. It happens all the time where we're talking to someone and we're networking with them and we're connecting with them, but we have no idea how to actually bring them over to our product or service, right? Without feeling like spammy or sleazy or salesy. Well, this is part 2 of our amazing series on heart-centered prospecting. So make sure that you go and check out our first video or podcast around heart-centered prospecting, all on how to prospect in Jesus's way, because we learn an incredible story about Jesus and the Samaritan woman at the well in that first video or podcast. But this one is going to focus on part 2 of that, which is really leading to your offer. Now, I want to see an emoji below of if you are, how you feel about prospecting. Let's see that emoji or that GIF below about how it makes you feel when you're prospecting online or even in person. Do you feel like you're frustrated that you don't know how to lead that over to your product or service? Well, we're going to talk about that here today. So like I said, I'm Elise Smith, Christian business strategist for Divinely Driven Results, and we love to empower Christian women entrepreneurs to be able to reach those sales goals. But the way that we reach those sales goals is starting to book those sales calls. Now, how do we book those sales calls? Is we use the solution bridge. So now the thing I want you to remember is we're going to be able to connect with these people. So last video or podcast, we talked about where to find your divine client and how to start those conversations. But the thing that I really want you guys to understand is that we need to have some kind of window into our product or service. We can get caught in that small talk trap, right? Where it's like, tell me about where you're from and what your family's like and what you like to do for fun. And we have no idea how to bridge that gap over to where our product or service is. And remember what we said last time is that you will never be spammy or sleazy or salesy if you can match what their need is with your product or service. That's really, really, really important. Is that, of course, you can offend anyone out there. Like, there are people who are offended just like that. And that's okay. We're not worried about those people. But you particularly will not feel spammy, sleazy, or salesy in that negative way if you can match what they need with your product or service. And so here are some things to be able to help you to start building up that bridge. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to ask them, what is their goal in whatever your area of expertise is? So because I'm a business coach, of course, I would ask you, what is your goal in your business? Or what type of clientele are you looking for? I need to find something that will lead me into my product or service. That's that need, right? That concept of something that they are looking for in order to be able to say, hey, I have a great solution for you. So you can start with what is their goal, right? That is going to be key. That's kind of our prepping that whole thing, right? So need to find out what their need is. And you might have already found that out in the small talk conversation. So maybe when you're asking them about, what do they do for work? And they say, oh man, I really love this about my job, or I hate this about my job. And let's say you have an opportunity that you want them to hear about. You can say, okay, it sounds like they need more time with their family, right? Because they said, I don't like this about my job because it takes away time from my family, or whatever it might be, right? So look for that need or those buying signals. And there's so much more that we teach at Divinely Driven Results for our clients. And if you're interested in learning more, go to divinelydrivenresults.com. But what we're going to focus on here today is a very simple way to do this. So look for the need, and you can literally just ask them, what is your goal with this? And what do you feel like is missing to help you get to achieve that goal? How simple is that, right? Like, sometimes we complicate it and we don't even realize it. Is that what we want to do is we just want to ask them the questions that we really have in our mind. What is your goal with whatever your area of expertise is? And what do you feel like you're missing in order to accomplish that goal? That will give us the need. And then we move into our solution bridge. This is super easy, guys. What is your goal? What do you need to accomplish that goal, right? So your solution bridge. The step one for your solution bridge is acknowledge their need. We all want acknowledgement, right? We want to know like, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense that you're struggling with lead generation because a lot of my clients did when they first came to me, right? So we're going to just acknowledge their need. We don't have to say like, you can say I've been there before, or, I know you said that you are having this problem with your lead generation or whatever it might be. Of course, I'm going to use my business because it comes very naturally to me, but you can do this even with health, right? Is that I know you said that you're really lacking that energy to keep up with the kids, right? So whatever that is, you're going to acknowledge that need. You're going to basically feed it back to them. And what's so powerful about sales and about coaching, and the fact of the matter is coaching and sales go hand in hand. It doesn't matter what kind of product or service that you offer. When you are selling, you're going to put on that coaching hat to be able to best serve that person. So the first thing that we need to do is acknowledge their need. I know you said that you're struggling with this. And what's going to happen is we're going to be a mirror for the other person. And all of a sudden they're going to say, oh yeah, I did say that I struggle with that, right? And when we can feed it back to them, holy cow, that becomes super powerful. Have you ever been talking to your husband or a friend or, your mom, and you tell them something and then they're like, okay, so you just said this. And you're like, whoa, I did just say that. That becomes a super powerful tool for us to be able to use to help them. So step one of your solution bridge, after we've asked them, what is your goal? What do you feel like you're missing to achieve that goal? But step one is acknowledge their need. I know you said that you're really, lacking energy in keeping up with the kids, right? Use their exact words. Step two is offer your solution. And you can do this in so many different ways. You can say, well, have you ever thought about hiring a health coach? Or, well, are you part of another Facebook group to be able to help you, learn tips on that? Or I think you'd really love my 5 tips to being able to get more energy back in your life tip sheet. Or what if I were to tell you that I help people to get more energy in their day all the time? Or I'd love to invite you to my masterclass that's going to give you this. Or it sounds like you might be a perfect fit for X, right? You see how easy that is that we just take their need. We just say, okay, it sounds like you have this kind of need. And have you ever thought about this? Right? It's not being spammy or sleazy or salesy or saying like, hey, join my Facebook group because I think you'd really like it. No, it's offering a solution. It's so natural for us to hear a problem and want to solve it for someone, right? We do that with our friends and our family all the time. My husband says, hey, I have a headache. And I said, have you thought about taking ibuprofen? You know what I mean? And so it just becomes this natural thing for us to do. And the fact of the matter is that we're leading with love this whole time. It talks about in the scriptures how we are meant to love God, love others, and love ourselves, right? And so in order for us to love others, we need to understand how to best serve them. And so we're going to step 2, offer a solution. So 1 is acknowledge their need. Number 2 is offer a solution. And number 3 is something we forget all the time. We're going to sell with benefits and invite them. Now, we are always selling to our next stage of our sales process. I want you to really think about that. We are always selling to the next stage of our sales process. It is not just, I am going to sell you on the amazing benefits and features of my product or service, right? We are going to sell them on the benefits of hopping on a call with you. We're going to sell them on the benefits of joining your Facebook group. We are always making little sales in our sales process in order to move them along to the next step. So what are your benefits for that first stage of your sales process? Now, this could be a Facebook group. Like we said, this could be a tip sheet to get onto your email list. This could be hopping on a discovery call with you. Whatever that first step of your sales process is, what are a couple of benefits for that? In fact, let's see it in the comments below. What are some benefits of your first stage of your sales process? Now, you don't have to include any links, but you can just say, I have a Facebook group and my benefits are this and this, right? And in fact, you can include your links. This is a great place to be able to network, right? So include your links below. So what you can do is you can say, with this Facebook group, you can actually advertise your business on Saturday's comment thread and learn great tips on how to grow your business in the Lord's way. You just heard that from my Faithful Ladypreneurs Facebook group, by the way. So, because we're always thinking about what's in it for me, right? We talked about that with heart-centered prospecting, the whole conversation that person is thinking in their head. What is in it for me? What does this conversation do for me? Well, it's the exact same thing when you get into the solution bridge, is that they're thinking, what's in it for me? So we want to think, what's in it for them? So that's why we acknowledge their need. We're focusing on them. I know you said that you're struggling with, energy to keep up with your kids, right? Or I know you said that you're struggling with lead generation in your business and reaching your sales goals, whatever it might be. And then step 2, offer a solution, is focused on them, even though we're talking about our solution, is that, have you ever thought about this? It's not in this really shove it down your throat kind of way. It's just offering a solution. And then step 3 is absolutely focused on them. WIFT, W-I-I-F-T, what's in it for them, is that we're going to sell them on the benefits. We're going to say, here's my amazing Facebook group and here's why you should come join, because it fits perfectly into what you're looking for, right? When we're prospecting, we say, hey, tell us about your divine client. Who is it that you're looking to connect with? And then naturally we say, well, you're going to find them in our Facebook group, right? And so this is really, really powerful when we put it all together. But some of those sell with benefits and invite steps could be, with this free tip sheet, you are going to get these amazing ways to gain more energy back in your life. Or this masterclass will help you to learn how to get more organic leads in your business. And then we, of course, invite them. Would you like the link? We're not going to just say, and here's the Facebook group link and come join us, you're going to love it, right? We're always leading them on to that next stage of our sales process, but we're not forcing them into it. And so this is where the difference between spammy and salesy and leading the conversation goes into, for their benefit, is, would you like the link to join? Or would you like to check it out? Or whatever that might be. We're going to invite them. God is a God of invitation. It is so incredible to do a study of how many times God invites his prophets or people in the Bible to do things. He doesn't say, like, this is what you're going to do, right? Or be spammy or salesy to us. He invites us to come follow me, right? Just like Christ said. And so we want to do the same thing as well. We have this incredible Facebook group, and you're going to love it because of this. Would you like the link to come follow us, right? Do you see how that whole thing works? And we're going to sell them on every step of our sales process. So it doesn't even matter if you're selling them into your phone call with you, right? You may think, well, I'm hopping on a call with them to sell them on something, but you can absolutely hop on a call to give them a couple of tips and sell them on something. So if you have like a discovery call that you're offering for free, then say, I'd love to get to know more about you and your business and how I can best serve you. Or I can give you a couple of customized tips to help you with organic lead generation or whatever it might be, right? So really, really, really important when we pull these things together. So our pre-steps are that we're going to ask them, what is their goal with your area of expertise? And what do you feel like you need to accomplish that goal faster or better, or what's holding you back? Any of those things. You're going to identify the need with those two simple questions, right? And then we're going to move into our solution bridge, which is step 1, acknowledge their need, right? Is that, I know you said that you are struggling with this, and use their own words. Step 2 is offer a solution. Well, have you ever thought of X, right? Step 3 is sell that next step with benefits and invite them. Give them at least 2 benefits for them to be able to take action on what it is that you're offering them. And then invite them. Be just like God, right? In that concept of inviting other people. Oftentimes we say something and then we just expect them to come back and be like, yeah, tell me more, right? But we need to invite them. That is how they take action, is for us to invite them. These 3 steps to your solution bridge are going to change the way that you prospect, because you're going to start prospecting with heart. That heart-centered prospecting video number 1, or podcast number 1, right? The one right before this, is really going to help you to build that real relationship with someone, to start that conversation with your divine client. And what you've learned here today is going to take that to the whole next level, where you're going to make it really easy and natural to move into your offer, which is usually your first offer, right? You don't usually want to get them on a sales call right off the bat, because think about it in that dating sense. I love how somebody taught me once that analogy, is that you're kind of dating your prospect, right? You wouldn't go up to someone and be like, at a bar or church or whatever, and be like, hey, you're cute, want to come home with me? No. You want to go on the date and you want to get to know them and kind of lead them through, and that's your sales process, right? And so that first offer should be a free offer. Your Facebook group, a tip sheet, could be even like an introduction call. Let's get to know each other. But we always want to sell with benefits. What is in it for them? WIIFT, ladies. Think about that. That is how we're going to show our love for them. Just like it says in that scripture, love of God and love of others will help us to be able to serve people even more, and to share the gospel and that light that God has given us. Even if we don't talk about the gospel at all, we can be that example of the believers, right? So I hope that this has been super helpful. Let's see it in the comments below. Any aha moments that you've had, or any questions that you might have around this. Now, these are just tiny, tiny little pieces that we teach in our program, the Divine Business Accelerator, where you get a whole year focused on our 7 pillars of a divinely successful business. But heart-centered prospecting is at that core, because you're not in business unless you're talking to people, right? You're in the business of people. And so we want to make sure that you understand how to build those real relationships with people. We give you incredible scripts. In fact, we have software that can make it super easy to start connecting with your divine client right away. So if you're interested in any of that, go ahead and message me for more information. But I'm going to give you this sell with benefits here. Watch this. I invite you guys to come join our Faithful Ladypreneurs Facebook group. This is for Christian women entrepreneurs in the service-based industries. And this is going to be, like you heard earlier, here are my 2 benefits. This is a place where you can advertise your business in Saturday's comment thread to over 1,600 Christian women entrepreneurs. And you can learn great tips on how to grow your business in the Lord's way. And you can take that even a step further and come join our membership to learn how you can go live in that group and actually post in that group as well your promos every single week. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you friend me, and also make sure that you ask me more about that. Or if you're already in the Faithful Ladypreneurs group, make sure you reach out to your advisor. So thank you guys so much for joining us here today. I know that we are called, ladies, to the business that we are in right now. And it's going to be super, super important for us to focus on that other person in order to serve them best. So let's build real relationships. If you haven't watched the other video, make sure you watch Heart-Centered Prospecting, either in our podcast, which you can find podcasts anywhere, and then also in our videos on YouTube or any of these groups that we're in right now. So go back and watch that one if you haven't already, Heart-Centered Prospecting. But then this solution bridge will help you to help that person see that next step to take, so that they can get that transformation or that impact that they're looking to make in their lives, that you can provide them. So go out there, be bold, ladies. Make sure that we are leading with heart, but let's open our mouths boldly so that the Lord can fill that for us. So make sure to check out divinelydrivenresults.com. Message me for more information. And if you're not already in Faithful Ladypreneurs, come join us in our Faithful Ladypreneurs Facebook group. Thanks, ladies. We will see you next time.